Hello everyone, Phil Hughes, AP at Mackenzie Campus, VCE coordinator as part of my role. This video is just a little bit about VCE if you are interested in choosing VCE as your senior program. VCE stands for the Victorian Certificate of Education. There is another video available in regard to which course to select. I recommend that you have a quick look at that one as well, although this process was also covered in careers classes at school face-to-face. The contents of this are on the screen here. I'll go through a range of different topics. Firstly, we are looking at the VCE program here. This is a graphic from inside of the course selection handbook. This is concentrating on Year 11, Year 12, Unit 1 to Unit 4 VCE. One of our major references for choosing a VCE course will be the VCE handbook. That'll be available to students in class, and also it is available as a PDF on the website. The subject descriptions are also available on the website. The VCE handbook does attempt to break down the subjects into the topics and probably just a little bit more information about what is covered in each different subject. Just quickly with the VCE, it's completed over 2 years. We usually undertake Unit 1 and 2 in Year 11 and 3 and 4 in Year 12. I'll talk about the fact there are some accelerated units available as well. A unit is pretty much what we call a semester of work. So as far as a flow chart is concerned, it looks a little bit like this. So next year students will be doing, Year 10 students will go into Year 11. In Year 11, they do 2 semesters. There's some key terminology in there as well, such as areas of study, outcomes, key knowledge and key skills, which students will be familiar with, especially next year. And then that goes into Year 12. Now it's always recommended that students do Unit 1 through to Unit 4 sequences, but that pathway isn't a necessity. Students can pick subjects up at Year 12 or even sometimes halfway through Year 11. But at Year 12 in 2023, students will be required to do each subject as a Unit 3 and 4 sequence. As far as attendance is required at VCE, look, the obvious rule is be here whenever you can and don't take time off unless you really have to. There is a 90% attendance requirement as far as unapproved absences are concerned. And when we talk about approved and unapproved absences, it should be fairly common sense for the students as far as what an unapproved absence is, but it's just really important. We are aware that students who attend more regularly have more success. As far as assessment is concerned in VCE, you have 2 versions of assessment, I suppose. You have the satisfactory completion, which is the S or N, as well as the level of performance. At Year 11, that S or N is the teacher's judgment on whether students have achieved the outcomes required. We also have graded assessment for various assessment tasks as well. Those assessment tasks are developed by the KLAs or teachers of those subjects. That's just the Year 11. So if we're talking about in Year 11, that's how that works. In Year 12, it gets a little bit more complex, I suppose, in that we still have the satisfactory completion, and that is the teacher's judgment again. However, when it comes to the graded assessment it has got an amount of rigidity around the curriculum authority's practice. So what we do with the graded assessment, that's to obtain a study score. You get a study score for each subject. The study scores together for the different subjects will be combined, and the student's ATAR, or their Australian Tertiary Admissions rank, is generated from that. To achieve the study score in the subject, we use the coursework, and also the school assessed tasks. So school assessed tasks are usually in the more production subjects, but those are the internal grades. And then you have examinations at the end, and the examinations are developed and moderated by the VCAA and run under their conditions. At Montague Secondary College, VCE, it consists of 6 subjects at year 11 and 5 at year 12. A little bit less at year 12 to give students some study time, and also just so that the workload is attainable. There are some cases where these amounts can change, but this is our general program, and usually is the one that students will do. So here's an example. I'll leave that on the screen there just briefly, but you might do 6 subjects at year 11 and see their histories there probably is a little bit of a breadth subject. And in year 2023, you probably drop one of those subjects to then be studying 5. Here's another example. This is a different type of example where in this situation, the students actually drop to the outdoor environmental studies. So what they've done is they've actually carried on their sequences from unit 1 through 4 in 5 subjects. As far as acceleration is concerned, students can do VCE subjects a little bit earlier, so usually a year earlier. So in year 10, you could do some year 11 or units 1 and 2 subjects, and that will carry on to 3 and 4 in year 11. However, there are also always advantages and disadvantages. There's some examples of those on the screen. However, one of the major things that we do find is that students do have a level of academic maturity which occurs over a period of time, especially if that years sort of 15 to 17-year-old age group. Sometimes students who do subjects because they like them, they do them early, they may do them better when they've actually matured in terms of their study habits and those and what surrounds those study habits. The other thing that we do not choose acceleration for is to reduce workload later on, because we are pretty aware that our anecdotal evidence is that doesn't actually work. So we, like I said, we'd still keep those 6 subjects at year 11 and 5 in year 12, even if you are accelerating. There is a course selection video which looks at some other issues around selecting a course. I suggest that you have a look at those. That can assist whether you're choosing VCE or VCAL, and whether you do a VET subject. There are separate videos also available for VCAL and VET. The online selections process, we want students to actually have their selections in by Friday, the 6th of August. So in VCE, it'll be choosing your subjects by this date. That's online on EdVal. If we can have the earlier we can get the sign sheets in, the better as well. There's also the course confirmation interviews. They'll actually occur from Tuesday to Friday in that week. Every student will have their selections looked at by some of our key transition staff, just to make sure students have made, to have a discussion around the choices, and to just sort of nut out any issues that might come with those selections. If students haven't done those selections by that time, staff will actually go through and put some of those selections in for them, and that gives us a little bit of leeway as well, so that by Wednesday 11th of August all of the forms can be in. But that is pretty much, the selections are closed by that date. Remembering, however, that the whole selection process that is occurring will be introduced in careers classes, and students will be taken through that process. A few key contacts on the screen there for you as far as our transition staff are concerned, and also don't forget key learning area leaders. But remember, also always talk to your teachers, because your teachers love talking about their subject areas, and they can be some of the best resources that you can have. Good luck with your selections. Don't forget all of our references available on the website. I encourage you to have a look at those.